Hello, good morning. Welcome to Breakfast with Sally Nugent and John Kay.
Our headlines for you today.
This morning's news, including some really dramatic pictures from the United States overnight.
That's right, John, because hundreds of New York City police officers have entered a Columbia University building which pro-Palestinian demonstrators have taken over. Dramatic footage shows a long line of police climbing through a window. Students had been warned by the university to leave or face being expelled. Our North America correspondent, John Sudworth, joins us now. John, just talk us through the situation, what's been happening there over the last couple of hours with these very dramatic images coming into us overnight. Two men from Cumbria have been charged in connection with the felling of the famous Sycamore Gap tree in Northumberland last September. 38-year-old Daniel Graham and 31-year-old Adam Carruthers have both also been charged with causing criminal damage to Hadrian's Wall. Our reporter Alison Freeman has the story. A failed asylum seeker has become the first to be sent voluntarily from the UK to Rwanda. A final compensation scheme for those affected by the infected blood scandal could be in place by the end of the year after the government made a key concession in the House of Lords. Well, our chief political correspondent, Henry Zeffman, joins us now. Morning, Henry. And I think in this situation, speed is very much of the essence, isn't it? Donald Trump has again dismissed his criminal trial in New York as nonsense, shortly after a judge warned he could face jail time for repeatedly breaching a gagging order. He was fined $9,000 and warned to stop publicly attacking witnesses and jurors. Our correspondent David Willis reports.
It's 6:15, and a family in the United States has been reunited with their pet cat after she was accidentally mailed hundreds of miles in an Amazon box. 7 days.
I know, poor Galena. It's one of those moments where you think, if only our pets could talk.
Yeah. Well, if only they could meow.
I know.
She might have got found a bit quicker.
She's not much of a meower.
Yeah.
Also,
That'll
her
teach her.
personality meant that she hid in the box. She's blaming the cat a lot for this, I think.
Yeah, well, look, it's good news. It's a happy reunion.
Safe.
17 minutes past 6.
Talking of being happy. Who's that again?
That's Carol.
Thank you.
Not Sally. You're
No.
Sarah?
Yeah. No.
Sarah? That would help me. That would help me.
Oh, my goodness. Can you imagine the internet sensation if there was a Sarah?
Sarah.
Yeah. Sorry, John.
Who?
Yeah.
John. Yeah.
John.
That's easy. 19 minutes past 6.
And nice to hear that Carol is saying that it is getting warmer, maybe a little bit more spring-like for us over the coming days.
Absolutely. Let's have a look at the Wednesday morning newspapers.
Nice,
Naughty
perhaps.
Mice. It sounds like a children's story, doesn't it?
It does sound like a little children's story. It's funny you should say that, John, because in the Mirror today they're reporting about the most loved children's books. And I tell you what, the top three will come as no surprise. Number 3, The Tiger Who Came to Tea. Number 2, The Gruffalo. And in at number 1, The Very Hungry Caterpillar, which I'm sure you've read
that was our era, wasn't it?
a million times.
It's interesting, though, they're all kind of relatively modern, aren't they? The last few decades, not the old sort of Aesop's Fable-type classic fairy tales.
Goldilocks in at number 4, but The Very Hungry Caterpillar has been voted the most loved children's story of all times.
This is like a children's story in its own right, or a horror story, perhaps. In America, surprisingly, a 3-year-old boy had been going to bed and complaining about hearing monsters in the wall in his bedroom.
Oh, dear. Go on.
And he'd recently watched the Monsters, Inc. movie, and his parents thought, OK, vivid imagination, having nightmares. A few weeks later, months later, some pest control officers happened to be driving by and saw a swarm of bees going into said wall. They discovered 65,000 bees inside, so he'd actually been hearing them buzzing during the night and nobody believed him.
There's a monster in my wall, and it was true.
They really were. And these bees have done 20 grand's worth of damage.
I bet his mum and dad wish they believed him now.
So if your child is running into the bedroom this morning telling you they've had a nightmare, look under the bed, look in the walls, look everywhere. Could be true.
Now, the childhood friend of a Cornish aid worker who was killed in an Israeli drone strike in Gaza is hoping to honour him by raising money for the boxing club he loved.
Yeah, Jimmy Henderson was among the 7 aid workers who died when their convoy was hit, you'll remember, last month. And now his close friend, Harry James Mills, wants to renovate their old boxing club and name it after Jimmy. He's been speaking to our reporter, Melanie Chiswell. Remembering Jimmy, that report from Melanie Chiswell.
Still to come here on the programme this morning. What do you call this?
So, I mean, it kind of depends where you live in the country, doesn't it? I mean, the tea cake, balm, bun. I call it a bap, I think.
A bap?
Yeah.
A batch? Yeah.
Yeah.
Britain is home to almost 40 regional dialects, each one with its own unique words and expressions, but there are concerns that some regional phrases could actually just disappear because all the regional differences are being lost.
Yeah, it's a shame, isn't it? So we're going to be joined a bit later by lexicographer, I wish there was another word for that, Susie Dent,
well done.
and accent and dialect coach Elspeth Morrison. They'll be talking to us in about an hour's time. So we would love to hear your favourite regional words. What do you call that batch?
Round piece of bread.
Thing.
Yeah.
Or other things. So the words that you use in your area that maybe people don't use in other parts of the country.
You see, tea cake, I would have thought would have, like, raisins in. But some people would call it a tea cake, wouldn't they, in parts of Yorkshire?
Parts of Yorkshire, yeah, it doesn't need raisins, it's just a plain bread bun thing.
I think we're going to start something here, John.
Yeah.
Lots of ways to get in touch with us at BBC Breakfast, of course. Our WhatsApp details on the screen now. You can email us or, of course, post a comment on social media too.
And crucially, if you're in touch on WhatsApp, don't forget to tell us where, especially in this subject, where you are messaging us from, and then we can build up a picture of all those words.
Time now, though, to get the news, the travel and the weather, whichever region you are in this morning.
However you say it.